His office is manifold and His promise is sure. His life is matchless and His goodness is limitless. His mercy is enough and His grace is sufficient. His reign is righteous, His yoke is easy, and His burden is light. He is indestructible. He is indescribable. He is incomprehensible. He is inescapable. He is invincible. He is irresistible. He is irrefutable. I can't get Him out of my mind, and I can't get Him out of my heart. I can't outlive Him, and I can't live without Him. The Pharisees couldn't stand Him, but found they couldn't stop Him. Satan tried to tempt Him, but found he couldn't trip Him. Pilate examined Him on trial, but found no fault in Him. The Romans crucified Him, but couldn't take His life. Death couldn't handle Him, and the grave couldn't hold Him. Just give me Jesus. Amen. Historically and biblically, there have been three ingredients that God has honored for revival. One is the preaching of the Word, one is prayer, one is the exaltation of Jesus. So my ministry, Angel Ministries, is going to hold revival events free of charge, so actually anyone can come. You can come if you're rich or poor, you can come if you're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever nationality you might be. You can come if you're young or old, whoever will may come. And we're going to place in the program of these revivals the ingredients that we believe God will honor and send down His Spirit.
In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Stuart and I have hordes of grandchildren. We have 13 grandchildren. And one of those children belongs to our daughter, Judy. And his name is Stephen. And when he was a little chap, Judy would say, "Come here, Stephen, I want to tell you something." And like any little chaps, he wouldn't want to do that. But he would come sort of reluctantly and stand in front of her with his head down. And she would start talking to him and she'd say, "Look at me, Stephen, look at me." Well, he wouldn't, so she would get down and grip his face in her hands with an iron grip, and he'd be left sort of hanging between her hands. And then she would keep at it, "Look at me, Stephen, look at me, Stephen, look at me, Stephen," until in the end his eyes, which were rolling to the right and the left and then all the way around his head, would focus. When she got his attention, she'd always say the same thing. "I love you, Stephen. I love you, Stephen." And then, still gripping him, she'd tell him what she had to tell him. And you know what? That's a wonderful picture of prayer. And I believe what's going to happen in this hour is that the Father will take your face in His hands. And He'll start, you'll hear His voice internally saying, "Look at me, Stephen." And by the time we're finished, your eyes will stop going to the left and the right and back home and around. And you'll look at Him. And I tell you something else. The first thing you'll hear is, "I love you, Stephen." And then I believe, and I have no idea what He's going to say to you. I only know He's going to say it, that you'll hear what He wants you to hear.
We're still looking. And we go to all of these other places looking for our fulfillment and our satisfaction and our joy and our peace and our meaning to life and our reason for existence, and we just can't seem to find it. And we're still looking. And Jesus says, "What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Who are you looking for?" Mary answered, "Sir," thinking he was the gardener, "if you've carried him away, tell me where you've put him and I'll go get him. Oh, sir, just give me Jesus and I'll be all right." We're asking that you would join us and support us, not only in your prayers, but in your presence as we cry out to God and ask Him to just give us Jesus.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world, but give me Jesus.